Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another Campus Stories, and I am still your host because I have not been fired yet. My name is Jordan Allen, and we are in the home stretch of this semester, and while I hate saying it, we are slowly but surely speeding towards the end of my time here as a student and also as the host of Campus Stories. But you guys know me, and you know that I won't go out crying, but I will go out entertaining you guys and educating you guys. So let's get started on this show with our guest for today. He is the current Vice Provost for Academic Affairs, and you all may have received, an email or two from him. I know I have. Lawrence A. Tomei. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, thank you.
It's good to see you today. So here on Campus Stories, we like to ask a couple questions. I already talked to you earlier in the break. We were joking and all that other stuff. So we'll start off with the first question. So what does being the Vice President or Provost, of Academic Affairs?
Well, for me, it's been the culmination of about a 22-year career in higher education, and my job as a vice provost, I'll kind of tell a little joke like you've been doing. People ask me, what does a vice provost do? And I basically say whatever the provost doesn't want to do. See, that's basically my job. But I have two key areas as the vice provost for academic affairs. I have the academic services part of the university, which includes the university registrar, and it includes all of the folks that help bring people into the school, into the campus, and make sure they get graduated. So the graduation and commencement services are part of my area. The transfer services that look at transcripts to see how many credits you get when you come to Robert Morris, that's part of mine. So we have quite a area of responsibility taking care of 5,000 students and doing it with a fairly small office. So if you need a transcript, if you need to change majors, if you need to change grades, if you have anything to do with your academic program while you're here, you'll probably come up and visit us up there. That's one area. The second area that's under my responsibilities are what I call student programs. These are programs that are not necessarily part of any of the academic schools. For example, the University Honors Program is under my area. The Military Veterans Program, taking care of our veteran students, is under my area. I take care of the First Year Studies Program for the freshmen that are coming onto campus. So, with those two responsibilities, it keeps me fairly busy.
Wow. Okay, so that's not just one day, is it? Or is this, I'm hoping this is spread out around the semester.
Well, there are peaks and valleys during the semester when we're really busy. Like right now, our academic services folks are just really getting ready for commencement. That's still sounds like it's 5-6 weeks away, but as all of the seniors know, next week is Senior Salute, which is an opportunity for all the seniors to come and pick up their caps and gowns, make sure their diplomas are going to read their names correctly, get their tickets for the commencement ceremony, and that's 2 full days of chock full of interacting with the students and making sure they're ready to go. So at the end of the semester, grades is a big deal for us. We've got 900 and some classes. Got to make sure all those classes get their grades in and get them all posted to your transcripts. So there are a couple of times during the semester where things maybe aren't quite as hectic as others, but for most of it, it's pretty much day to day.
Yeah, I'm hoping on my diploma, because no one really knows my middle name, they'll be able to finally see it.
There you go.
First time, maybe we'll put that on the show, maybe we won't. Who knows? I like to keep people out of the loop. So do you enjoy having that big challenge? Because I know most people like to take the high road, the easy way out. As you said, the provost or the vice provost does what the provost doesn't want to do. Do you enjoy the challenge of so-called picking up the slack?
Well, that was kind of a joke. There's actually 3 vice provosts. My area is academic affairs. We have another provost that does institutional research, and then a third vice provost that does grants, research, faculty research, and graduate studies. And so between the 3 of us, along with the provost, we form quite a team that takes care of all the academics that goes on in this campus. And it's a joy to work in that area. In addition to being an administrator, I think all three of us also teach. I have a dual appointment in the School of Education and Social Sciences. So I get a chance to teach in the master's program and the doctorate program. And so whenever you get a little tired of doing the administrative side of the house, you get to put yourself in the classroom, and that's pretty exciting.
That sounds really exciting. Because I know personally, I'd be like, whoa, all this stuff, you know. I mean, I'm glad that there are 3 provosts to take up, you know, that big burden. And like, of course, us as students, we definitely thank you for doing that, for especially with commencement coming up.
Well, we got such a good group of folks. University Registrar Frank Perry he's been at this university for, if you can imagine, for 44 years. So there's not anything that Mr. Perry doesn't know about what's going on the academic side. And our students, I think, understand that between him, the associate registrar, and the 3 technicians that we have, I don't know, we gauged it one time, there's like 140 years of experience between those 4 people. So they provide an excellent service to the students on this campus.
Definitely. And ladies and gentlemen, coming up after the break, we will keep on grilling our guests today, and please keep it locked on this channel for more campus stories.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours? 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice? 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 150. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome home, man.
Welcome back to Campus Stories with our guest today, Professor Lawrence Tomei. So, we got through one set of questions, and we're going to get started on the second amount of questions. So, I understand that you lead the Academic Technology Committee. Is that correct?
That's right.
What is the Academic Technology Committee?
Well, if you think about what's happened on this campus in the last 5 to 10 years with the introduction of so many items of technology, the Academic Technology Committee is kind of a partner with the information technology folks that take care of the entire campus and a lot of the infrastructure that goes on. So we're a partner with them. Academic Technology is a committee that contains representatives from each of the 5 schools, plus the library, plus the IT folks themselves. And our job is to look at what is going on with instructional technology specifically, the things that we use in the classroom, the things that the faculty want to use to get their instruction across to the students. So we meet usually on a monthly basis. We look at everything from what's going on in the labs to the kind of technology that we're putting into the classroom, trying to keep it updated. That's a real challenge for us because technology is moving so quickly that the cost of the technology is a little overwhelming sometimes, and just keeping up with the things. For example, right now, a lot of our courses are beginning to embrace video conferencing and distance education. Of course, we just started online education a couple years ago, and it has really taken off here at the university. We have an entire online and off-campus program, and I think the last time I heard there's something like 489 students that are taking a totally online program here at Robert Morris. But distance ed, in the form of video conferencing, in the form of Skypes, in the form of social media, all the things that the students know a lot more about sometimes than their professors, and that's okay because I learn just as much from my students as they learn from me, especially when it comes to technology. So for example, we have 4 or 5 now video conferencing systems on our campus. And 2 of our students, one of them is a doctoral student. He's in the military, and he was reassigned to the Harrisburg area. He stayed in the doctorate program by using our video conferencing system to become a student in the classroom that still meets in a traditional face-to-face environment.
Wow.
We had another student that was deployed to Saudi Arabia, and he was able to remain in our course by using video conferencing. In the oldest of the doctorate programs in science and information systems, they had a student who was actually the ambassador to a country in Africa, and she finished her doctorate program that way too. So between what's going on with traditional face-to-face and trying to keep the classroom up to date with smart boards and wireless technology and the use of podcasting, the academic technology committee has got quite a job ahead of them.
Yeah, I know we have a smart board up in our Century room that's upstairs where we put out the Century newspaper, which actually is out now, cheap plug, all that fun stuff. So with all these organizations that you're part of, you know, you do commencement, you do the academic technology affairs, you know, I'm pretty sure you do a whole multitude of other things. Are there any other ones that maybe people don't know that you're a part of, like outside of the school area?
Oh, you know, in my real life?
Yeah, in the real life, yeah.
Well, there's probably a lot of things that people don't know. I've got a lot of other interests. For example, we were talking before that you said you were on the football team at Brashears. I may have officiated one of your games when you were in high school.
Wow.
I've been a Western PA football official for the last 18, 19 years, and have done football games all over Western Pennsylvania. So there's not too many venues that I haven't been, and that to me is, I mean, that is what takes up a lot of my fall semester. If I'm not in the classroom, I'm on the football field, and that's very exciting to me, and I just love being in the high school environment to do that. So that's probably something not too many people would know about.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, do you ever have time to sleep at all?
Well, between that and 4 grandchildren now, that pretty much accounts for all of my time. So.
Wow. So I mean, with the refereeing and stuff, I understand that there's a lot of, you know, flack that most referees get. You know, I mean, when you're the home team and you throw a call against them, they're going to hate you. You know, I mean, does that ever transfer over to school life?
Oh, I don't think so. You know, one of the things that you enjoy. I mean, I do all levels of sports, all the way from AAA ball down to midgets on Saturdays, and you learn a lot that way. You learn a lot about how to interact with people, how to make them feel like you're listening to them. You know, when they were making comments about a call that you might have made or not made. And but I think on the varsity side particularly, it's the coaches are wonderful. They know the rules. They enjoy what they're doing. We've even done some semi-pro games and even some arena football downtown. So we've been all over as a crew.
I've yet to make it to a Pittsburgh Power game as of late, and hopefully you guys have yet to hear the best of this story and of this show. So come back after the break, and we will definitely have more for you guys.
These boys are my heroes. They come every week to spend time with my children.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
They can teach them something no one else can.
Wisconsin.
They're role models to the children, and homework comes way before sports. Their grades have improved, and their lives are just a bit richer.
Okay.
What they do for my kids is truly wonderful.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
I call them my lifeline.
is we've been having a lot of fun on this show, just talking, even like after the questions, that stuff. And we have a bunch of other questions. And I want to get into commencement. That's a big thing that's coming up, especially for me in my life, working four long years just to get here, to this point. So I had a time to work with the last year's commencement on the filming crew. And what are some of the different things that we can expect from between last year's and this year's commencement?
Well, I think the crowds are going to continue to get bigger. Actually, you're going to be part of the smallest graduating class that we're going to have for the next 4 years. I think when you came in, your incoming freshman class was 720. The next freshman class after you was like 890. So it's going to, between now and next year, we're going to have to try to figure out how to shoehorn more people into the arena. But I think if you've seen our commencement ceremony, it sounds like you have, I can assure the folks that bring their parents and their family that, and I've seen a lot of commencement ceremonies. Before I was at Robert Morris, I was a faculty member at Duquesne University downtown for 10 years. And I've been in 5 or 6 other universities across the country. We've got undoubtedly the best commencement ceremony that you'll see. It's
I would be definitely glad to agree about that.
It starts off with the cannon firing, and then it brings in the fife and drum, and from there we get into a real celebration of all of the 4 years the work that you put into this. I was just looking at, I just got this today. It's the commencement guidebook.
Oh yeah,
which
if
is
everyone
what you'll
wants to get a shot of that, if you want to lift that up over here.
Okay, we're over here.
Yeah, that's our
Over
right
there.
over here. Yeah, over to that camera. So this is our
And,
commencement guide
that's
right
the
here.
commencement guidebook, and you'll be getting that at Senior Salute next week.
Nice.
Along with the package that will include your tickets to the ceremony for the undergrad program, and your announcements, your cap and gown, and any special, I'll call it bling, that you might have on your regalia for honors or for being in in any kind of the honor societies and so on. So this is really a very special time for us as we start to put this program together. A lot of the students, when they apply for graduation and they have to pay that $150, they go, wow, that's a lot of money. What are we getting for that $150? They usually don't say that after the ceremony's over, because the whole campus pitches in to put on the ceremony. We have a wonderful reception for your family after it's over. Your transcripts are included as part of your graduation, and the whole thing is just really, really well done.
I remember being right in the front of the stage whenever I was filming it and seeing the scepter being brought in the fife and drum, and I had a big headset at that time. That was pretty fun. I was the only one standing. I had a gigantic camera and that stuff. So I mean, we've kind of gotten to what commencement is about, but what are some of the difficulties of planning a commencement as opposed to like the Kentucky Robert Morris game that we had earlier this week?
Well, you got to think about all the different pieces that got to come together to do this. Now, we have an outstanding committee that I've been working with for the last 9 years. So we have representatives from student life. We have representatives from campus security. We've got representatives from all the different academic schools. And so you got to think about how all this has got to come together. Think, for example, your parents coming there. They got to have tickets to come. They got to be able to have a spot to park. If they have any special accommodations that have to go, we have to take care of that. They all want to have a good seat so they can see you walk across the stage. They want to be able to take pictures. You got young children that are coming. All of those pieces and parts have got to come together. Plus, you're going to have probably, because remember, we only have one commencement ceremony a year, and that takes in the people that graduated last December and the people that graduated last summer. They're all invited to the ceremony. So for the undergrad ceremony, we're going to have as many as 750, 800 students walking. plus each of them get 4 tickets, so there's another 2,800 people that are coming to the ceremony. Plus we have 200 faculty, plus we have,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness.
VIP guests that are coming. And so this is a very special celebration, and all that stuff we wanted to have just, you know, flow right into it. So the entire time that you're watching the stage, I'm standing on the side with the registrar, and we got 2 people in the back making sure the line is moving and doing well. But we get a lot of help from a lot of folks to make this happen.
And I mean, with all those different things going on, you know, all the different, I would say, responsibilities that you have going on through commencement, there have to be, because I mean, one of the things that were on my mind whenever I was filming was, I wonder what, like, some of the craziest names that you guys have had to say. You know, whenever people walk across, like, has someone tried to sneak their nickname into their announcement? Have you guys ever had something like that before?
Well, you know, it's a real challenge for a lot, and we have 2 of our more senior faculty whose voices, I don't know where they get them from, but they sound like they ought to be on radio or TV. We have a gentleman and a lady that takes care of announcing all the students, and I think their biggest challenge now is with the international students. You know, you can imagine it's tough enough to say, you know, Jordan, but we have 100 and how many international students? I think there'll be over 100 of them that'll be graduating this year. And so some of those names get a little challenging. But, you know, we do it really the right way. They each have a little name card, and we'll talk about understanding it phonetically, you know, being able to pronounce it phonetically. I think we get most of them right.
I mean, Nick, you know, like, especially during RMU Live, we've had a whole bunch of names that I've had pronounced from, you know, Saudi Arabia and all that stuff that we've having. Nodding my head at me, probably thinking that I'm crazy. So, I mean, that's definitely a great stuff to know about commencement, especially like with me. I'll be attending it, you know, finally graduating, and hopefully I'll be bringing the new host in a couple of shows. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those that don't know, we will be coming back after these quick breaks. We will have some random questions. Yes, we are going to try them again, and no, I will not fail this time. So I will catch you guys after the break.
People don't realize how quickly you can end up on the street. One thing happens in your life, medical bills you can't pay, you lose your job, and that's it.
At Robert Morris University, every student is expected to reach out to others.
We went to DC to work with the homeless. They sell a newspaper called Street Sense. Thought I'd help.
But if you want to give more, you can.
This person came up to me and said, get a job. And for 2 hours, I felt what it was like to be homeless.
Good morning. $1 help.
Some of the other students said, how can we change this? And I said, sometimes you can't change the world, but you may be able to change one person's world. My dream, open a psych clinic for people on the street.
Change someone's life. It changes yours forever. Robert Morris University.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this Campus Stories, and yes, we're going to attempt to do some random questions this time. Hopefully it won't go as bad as it went with John Locke just a few short weeks back. So I'm just going to think of some random questions. So what did you do before coming to Robert Morris?
Oh, good question. I've spent 22 and a half years in the military. I'm originally from Akron, Ohio, and I joined the Air Force in 1972 as a commissioned officer, and spent the next 22 years hopping all over the country and you know, enjoying all sorts of different areas. So I've been stationed in Omaha and Texas and Honolulu, Hawaii, and Montgomery, Alabama, and a place I know you never heard of called Blytheville, Arkansas.
No.
Colorado Springs, and Rapid City. So that was my 22 years in the military.
Wow.
And I wanted to come back to this area of the country because my family still is in Akron, and was able to find a position at Duquesne University. Was there for 10 years, and then joined Robert Morris in 2004.
Wow. Now, I know as a kid, and this may seem cheesy, and I do not care, and I don't care if you guys judge me, but when I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. I know that's just a fun fact about me. Do not judge me right there, okay? And so, have you had any childhood dreams that you maybe wanted to be like, I want to be a fireman?
Wow. No, I always wanted to be in the military. I mean, my dad was a second generation Italian family, and he had 3 brothers, and all 4 of those brothers were in World War II. It was one of those stories where they were all drafted into the Army at the same time.
Wow.
And all 4 of them, thank God, all 4 of them came back.
Oh, definitely.
And my dad was, he was always very positive and very big on the military. Having spent World War II in the Army, he made sure his son went into the Air Force. He didn't, he said, you really don't want to necessarily go into the Army right now. But, and so that was something that I always wanted to do. I got into being a professor because I married a teacher.
Wow.
And she just looked like she was just having a lot of fun. She was an elementary school teacher. And I started looking at what she was doing as a teacher and said, man, that just looks like a lot of fun. And so I've been teaching ever since 1974 when I started teaching at a junior college, and have kept that up as I went along. So I really do think I'm kind of living the dream here. You know, I've got a chance to do the things that I've always wanted to do.
And I'm glad to say that you've added being a guest on Campus Stories to this thing. And I definitely want to thank you for being a part of the show. And I'm sure we'll definitely get you a copy of this video because I'm sure you want to share with all of your friends.
Great.
And ladies
See
and
you at
gentlemen,
commencement.
oh yes, definitely see a commencement. On the next episode of Campus Stories, we will do what we do best, ladies and gentlemen. That is ask the tough questions, possibly not me being a professional wrestler, that you guys want to hear. Remember, knowledge is power, and knowledge exists only on Campus Stories. Have a good day.